You're turning left from a main road into a side road. What should you do if there's a pedestrian on the pavement waiting to cross the side road? Sound your horn to let the pedestrian know you're there. Carry on turning into the side road. Flash your lights to encourage the pedestrian to cross. Wait and give way to the pedestrian. You're in a tunnel and you see this sign. What does it mean? Beware of pedestrians, no footpath ahead. Direction to an emergency pedestrian exit. Beware of pedestrians crossing ahead. No access for pedestrians. Why should you be cautious when going past this bus waiting at a bus stop? There are driveways on the left. There's a zebra crossing ahead. People may cross the road in front of it. The road surface will be slippery. When will a new car need its first MOT test? When it's 3 years old. When it's 1 year old. When it's 7 years old. When it's 5 years old. What must you do if poor health affects your driving? Inform your local police. Always drive accompanied. Inform the licensing authority. Avoid using motorways. What would you expect to find at a contraflow system on a motorway? Lower speed limits, temporary traffic lights, road humps, wider lanes than normal. Which is the most vulnerable road user? Tractor driver, lorry driver, car driver, motorcyclist. You're driving an unfamiliar car fitted with Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, ADAS. Where would you find information about how to use the ADAS correctly? Ask at your local garage. In the manufacturer's handbook. Ask a motoring association. In the highway code. What should you do first if your vehicle has broken down on an automatic railway level crossing? Get everyone out of the vehicle and clear of the crossing. Walk along the track to give warning to any approaching trains. Try to push the vehicle clear of the crossing as soon as possible. Telephone your vehicle recovery service to move it. What does this sign mean? Amber signal out of order. Traffic lights out of order. Temporary traffic lights ahead. New traffic lights ahead. What should you do if a driver pulls out of a side road in front of you, causing you to brake hard? Ignore the error and stay calm. Flash your lights to show your annoyance. Overtake as soon as possible. Sound your horn to show your annoyance. Which lights should you use when you're driving in a tunnel? Rear fog lights, front spotlights, side lights, dipped headlights. When would you use the right-hand lane on a 3-lane motorway? When you're turning right. When you're overtaking. When you're traveling above the speed limit. When you're trying to save fuel. What does this sign mean? Bicycles and buses only. With flow cycle lane. Contra flow cycle lane. No bicycles or buses. You're traveling along a motorway. Where would you find a crawler or climbing lane? On a steep gradient. Before a service area. Before a junction. Along the hard shoulder. How can you plan your route before starting a long journey? Check your vehicle handbook. Ask your local garage. Use a route planner on the internet. Consult a travel agent. What's the nearest you may park to a junction? 15 meters, 49 feet. 10 meters, 32 feet. 20 meters, 66 feet. 12 meters, 39 feet. What messages are given by circular traffic signs that have a blue background? They give directions to car parks. They give temporary directions during a diversion. They give motorway information. They give mandatory instructions. What will be affected if the road surface becomes soft in very hot weather? The fuel consumption, the suspension, the exhaust emissions, the tire grip. What does it mean if the signs at a bus lane show no times of operation? The lane is only in operation at peak times. The lane is in operation 24 hours a day. The lane is not in operation. The lane is only in operation in daylight hours. Which document may the police ask you to produce after you've been involved in a collision? Your driving license, your vehicle registration document, your theory test certificate, your vehicle service record. What color are the reflective studs between the hard shoulder and the left-hand lane of a motorway? Red, green, white, amber. What does this sign mean? Cyclists must dismount. Bicycles are not allowed. Cycle route ahead. Cycle in single file. Who's responsible for paying the vehicle tax? The registered keeper of the vehicle. The car dealer. The driver of the vehicle. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, DVLA. You're going to turn left from a main road into a minor road. What should you do as you approach the junction? Swing out to the right just before turning. Keep just left of the middle of the road. Keep well to the left of the road. Keep in the middle of the road. What should you do immediately after joining a motorway? Try to overtake. Position your vehicle in the center lane. Readjust your mirrors. Stay in the left-hand lane. You need glasses to read a vehicle number plate at the required distance. When must you wear them? Whenever you're driving. When you think it's necessary. Only at night time. Only in bad weather conditions. Where should you avoid overtaking? Just after a bend. In a one-way street. Approaching a dip in the road. On a dual carriageway. What should you do if you want to overtake a tractor but are not sure that it's safe? Speed past. Flashing your lights at oncoming traffic. Follow another vehicle as it overtakes the tractor. Sound your horn to make the tractor driver pull over. Stay behind it if you're in any doubt. You're waiting at a level crossing. What should you do if the red warning lights continue to flash after a train has passed by? Telephone the signal operator. Get out and investigate. Continue to wait. Drive across carefully. You're about to overtake. What should you do when you see this sign? Move to the right to get a better view. Hold back until you can see clearly ahead. Overtake the other driver as quickly as possible. Switch your headlights on before overtaking. What does this sign mean? No pedestrians allowed. Pedestrian zone. No vehicles. Zebra crossing ahead. School crossing patrol. What could cause you to crash if the level is allowed to get too low? Brake fluid level. Antifreeze level. Fuel level. Battery water level. What should you do before making a U-turn? Check road markings to see that U-turns are permitted. Give an arm signal as well as using your indicators. Look over your shoulder for a final check. Select a higher gear than normal. What does this sign mean? End of motorway. No motor vehicles. No through road. End of bus lane. Which diagram shows a hazard warning line? At an incident, how could you help a small child who's not breathing? Open their airway and begin cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. Find their parents and explain what's happening. Put them in the recovery position and slap their back. Talk to them confidently until an ambulance arrives. You've just passed your driving or riding test. How can you reduce your risk of being involved in a collision? By never going over 40 miles per hour. By always staying close to the vehicle in front. By staying in the left-hand lane on all roads. By taking further training. You're on a motorway. What does it mean when a mandatory speed limit is displayed above the hard shoulder? The hard shoulder can be used as a running lane. You should not travel in this lane. You can park on the hard shoulder if you feel tired. You can pull up in this lane to answer a mobile phone. What could you do to reduce the volume of traffic on the roads? Use a car with a smaller engine. Walk or cycle on short journeys. Drive in a bus lane. Travel by car at all times. You want to turn left at this junction. What should you do if your view of the main road is restricted? Build up your speed so that you can emerge quickly. Stop and apply the parking brake even if the road is clear. Stay well back and wait to see if anything comes. Approach slowly and edge out until you can see more clearly. What should you do before driving into a tunnel? Close your sunroof. Switch off your radio. Take off your sunglasses. Switch on your windscreen wipers. A single carriageway road has this sign. What's the maximum permitted speed for a car towing a trailer? 60 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour. What makes the vehicle in the picture environmentally friendly? It's powered by diesel. It's powered by electricity. It's powered by gravity. It's powered by unleaded petrol. Why is it a good idea to plan your journey to avoid busy times? Your journey time will be longer. You'll have an easier journey. It will cause more traffic congestion. You'll have a more stressful journey. A casualty is not breathing normally and needs cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. At what rate should you press down and release on the center of their chest? 10 times per minute, 60 times per minute, 120 times per minute, 240 times per minute. You're on a motorway. What does it mean when a red cross is displayed above the hard shoulder? Pull up in this lane to answer your mobile phone. Use this lane as a running lane. This lane can be used if you need a rest. You must not travel in this lane. Why has the bus driver positioned the bus on the left? To get a better view of the roundabout. In case the pedestrian wants to get on the bus. The sign on the roundabout is directing traffic to keep left. The bus needs extra room to get around the roundabout. Why does the cyclist take the longer route around the roundabout? The cyclist is riding into a one-way street. It's easier to give arm signals while you're on the left. Cyclists may keep to the left for safety. To avoid being dazzled by the sun. What do the yellow lines along the edge of the road mean? Pedestrians shouldn't cross where there are yellow lines. They mark the edge of the road. No waiting. They are rumble strips. When will a new car need its first MOT test? What must you do if poor health affects your driving? What should you do first if your vehicle has broken down on an automatic rail? What does this sign mean? You're traveling along a motorway. Where would you find a crawler or climbing lane? What messages are given by circular traffic signs that have a blue background? What does it mean if the signs at a bus lane show no times of operation? What color are the reflective studs between the hard shoulder and the left-hand lane of a motorway? What does this sign mean? You answered incorrectly. The correct answer is cycle route ahead. What does this sign mean? You answered incorrectly. What should you do before making a U-turn? You answered incorrectly. You're on a motorway. What does it mean when a mandatory speed limit is displayed above the hard shoulder? You answered incorrectly. The correct answer is the hard shoulder can. A casualty is not breathing normally and needs cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. At what rate should you press down and release on the center of their chest?